All right, Freddie, I have your permission to record this?
Yes, you do.
Okay, we're recording. This is Jay Newman with Dr. Fred Bishey on April 30th, 2012. Go ahead, Fred.
Okay, I'm a dog lover, and I had 2 English Masters. The male was a 6.5-year-old male that weighed about 170 pounds. It was a beautiful dog, and I was on the beach running with him on a soft sand without realizing that he got a puncture wound. I didn't realize that because sometimes down here in this beach, there are some hypodermic needles that drug addicts have used, but he definitely got a puncture wound, and he got a very severe infection that turned into blood poisoning. Within 48 hours, his leg was so big, it was enormous. And I took him down to a hospital in New Jersey because it was in the middle of the night when I realized how bad it was. And it got so big, the skin actually cracked and opened up and started to ooze. And that was up where the first joint was. So what happened is they gave him a lot of antibiotics, and it wasn't helping. And 2 weeks later, he looked like he was going to die, and I took him to a local veterinarian, and right away they saw that he had blood poisoning, and unfortunately it went to his heart, and it damaged his heart, and he had cardiomyopathy. And they told me he wouldn't live more than 6 months, but they didn't want to hurt my feelings. They told me later on he wasn't going to live 2 weeks. And they said if his heart wasn't so bad, they would have amputated his leg. So to make a long story even longer, what I did is I started dripping the silver all over that wound.
Please mention the brand name, the exact silver.
Okay, Jay Newman's the 240, the silver that Jay Newman's uses.
Our professional line, the Pro Silver 240 with Opti Silver. It's the same as Silver 100, but the professional 240. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Go ahead.
Okay, so then I sprayed it into his mouth. I gave him at least 10 dropperfuls every single day. I went through a whole case of that. Well, the doctors were shocked because I had to bring him out there every day, and every time they tried to clean it, some of its flesh would actually come off. As soon as I started putting the silver on it, not only did it start to shrink and close up, it was a gaping hole. I mean, you could almost put a tennis ball in it without exaggeration. Start to close up, and I should have took pictures of it. That's what I should have really did. Then it started to heal, and it started to formulate, flesh that it was like actually, building cells in there. That's why I asked you about that, if it had any effect on stem cells. Well, his leg actually healed up, and he did very, very well. But his heart, he had a very enlarged heart because he had cardiomyopathy. And I put him on a special diet. I gave him blended salads, and I gave him about 10 egg yolks a day, just the yolks. And he responded very, very well. Then I gave him lipospheric vitamin C. I gave him a couple other things, and he did very, very well. And they only had given him a very short time to live, and he lived a year and a half, and finally his heart gave out. But the infection was like magical, the way it responded to the silver. It was really amazing. The people out at the veterinarian hospital, they said they have never seen a case where somebody had an infection that bad with a wound that big that not only did it heal in a week, they said they never seen anything like that actually heal. They thought he was going to die for it if they didn't amputate his leg.
Wow.
That's a fact. There's no hype, nothing in there that's a distortion of the truth. And plus, you could ask Rory. Rory witnessed the whole thing, if you want to. We never seen anything heal like this. And they asked me, they thought Solomon was going to die right away. They asked me what I did, but you think, I gave one of the veterinarians my book, but you think they tried anything like that? No, they didn't do it. They asked me to make a list of what I gave them, but by far was obvious. The thing that healed his leg was definitely the silver. It was so obvious. They could see it. I mean, each day they could see it like he was building tissue in there. It looked like there was like granulation in there. You could put a tennis ball in that hole. My wife didn't even want to look at it. What happened, his leg got so big it actually burst at the joint.
The leg burst at the joint from the amount of inflammation and swelling from the infection.
Yeah, I mean, it was enormous. First it started to ooze, then it started to burst. So when I got him to the vet, though, they opened it up more to let all the poison out, and they kept cleaning it, and they kept irrigating it and everything. But they were pretty sure that he was going to die if they didn't cut his leg off. That's what they told me.
Yep.
And then after, they said, Freddie, that we didn't think, they knew how badly I felt, you know, and he said, we didn't want to make you feel worse than you did. So he says, we didn't think he was going to live 2 weeks. We were sure he was, because they kept calling me up, how's the dog, how's the dog? I he's getting better.
Well, can you just mention for anybody listening, and it'll only be a couple people like veterinarians, potential investors, just a tiny overview of your background, like you were telling me for years you had the TV show and how many audience?
Well, I'm a PhD in nutritional science, and I've been practicing for over 45 years, and I've seen lots of people, many people from all walks of life with different ailments. And I've had some great success with in very difficult cases. Not everybody. I wish I could say everybody. But I had my own television show. The name of the show was Eat Your Way to Health with Dr. Fred Bishey. We won the Innova Award. It was a local cable show here that had a tremendous following on Staten Island. And, I'm still practicing, and I'm 82 years old. I'm still a very active person that runs and does all the things that, a lot of people 20 years younger than I can do, and I'm a very strong believer in the, silver. I think it's fantastic. Yeah, no, it really is a fabulous product. I was just telling my wife about it. I was telling my wife, if something happens to me and you get sick, anything goes wrong, make sure you use this, because she doesn't, she's not a real big follower of following a fantastic diet in any way. But I love the product. I really do. But you know what happened? If the first time when I took him down to the other place in New Jersey in the middle of the night, if they had picked up that it was going to his heart, I could have stopped. I was worried about endocarditis. I wasn't even really thinking about cardiomyopathy. When they told me he had cardiomyopathy, and there's two types of cardiomyopathy. One is when the walls of your heart grow thicker very quickly. The other kind is the worst, when it gets thinner. And it just balloons, and that's what he had, unfortunately, which comes from blood poisoning or a very bad infection. But I had him a year and a half more. It's heartbreaking for me to even think about it.
Thank you, Freddie. Thank you so much. All right, I'm going to stop the recording now.